The first thing we're going to talk about is the Colts.
Yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts collapse. Wait. Before I twist this whole story completely wrong and do a horrible job of being a fake journalist, I don't want to call this the Colts collapse. I might put it in the title because it sounds cool. It's two C's, alliteration or whatever. I learned that in English class. The Jaguars played really fucking good.
So
Trevor Lawrence absolutely had his best game this season.
Yeah, what the hell?
It's fucked up. In a game where the Jags have no business, they shouldn't be winning because they were potentially going to sell a draft pick. And the Colts honestly played really bad. I think this was one of Carson Wentz's worst games. It was his first thrown interception in a road game in the entire season, and he threw 2. Ooh. So he almost went the whole season without throwing an interception on the road. This was a must-win game for the Colts. And I think for a lot of Colts fans and a lot of the people around the NFL world just figured it was a gimme. The Colts are going to go in the playoffs. And this whole time on MG Live, we've been talking about, bro, I can't wait to see the Colts make a playoff push. Yes. I think they're a sleeper team for their record. I think they're really good. Jonathan Taylor, potentially Offensive Player of the Year. They fucking lost to the Jags.
That's such a big sell,
dude.
My God. To the Jags, too. It's not like they played the fucking, even the Ravens or something. It's not like they played a decent team or a good team.
You played the worst team in the NFL.
Literally.
The worst team in the NFL.
The team that's going to get the number one pick, you just lost to get out of the fucking playoffs.
Insane. And I really don't want this to get spun into the Colts sold. They did play a bad game, but they had to play a great game to beat the Jags how they played. They played so fucking good. These weren't dog shit, super lucky, refs won them the game touchdowns.
Yeah.
These were difficult touchdowns. Trevor Lawrence consistently converting third downs, which he hasn't done all season. Putting his body on the line. There was a massive play to ice the game. He ran a fucking read option, spun a dude, and gets the first down. They played super good. They dropped 26 points. The Colts, even if they had gotten 2 more touchdowns, they still don't win this game. 2 more touchdowns, they get 25 points. Yeah, maybe you go for 2, whatever, but it's extra heartbreaking that way, I think. It's not like you can just sit there and say oh my fucking God, we just lost the shittiest game ever. You actually got railroaded by the Jaguars. That is so crazy. The heavily favored Horseshoes weren't so lucky Sunday afternoon, losing improbably in Jacksonville 26-11. To make matters worse, the Colts 9-8, who had been in control of their football destiny for the past 2 weeks, the Steelers win over the Ravens, eliminates Indy from playoff contention. So there was another scenario. Tyler Huntley clutches up, and the Ravens win, and that doesn't happen. That game was ugly. Very good defensive game, though. That's always such a good. When the Steelers and the Ravens play, it's always such a good game. And now the Steelers are 2-0 over the Ravens. Ben keeps their playoffs hopes alive.
Good for him.
Yeah, and the only way that the Steelers could go to the playoffs, by the way, was if the Jags beat the Colts. Wow. And so when you're looking at that as a Steelers fan, you're like, okay, well, we're not going to the fucking playoffs. Yeah, the Jags ain't beating the Colts. Yeah. And we still got to beat the Ravens. And then it happens. It's so crazy. If we could, if you actually want to pull up the stats from this game, I really do want to touch on that. Jonathan Taylor still played great. I think he had a really good game. I do think if anybody, if you want to say anybody sold, it really was Carson Wentz. He did have a difficult game. I thought the offensive play calling for the Colts was very questionable. Watching that game, I thought it was very questionable. That's weird. I thought Wentz had 2 interceptions. Did they call one back? I vividly watched him throw a second interception, so they must have called it back. I apologize, boys. Pittman gets a touchdown, kind of in almost what you would call garbage time. There was 4 minutes left. So, these stats are even a little bit deceptive. I think he played worse than that, but you just have to give credit to the Jaguars.
Really?
They were, this is what was weird. They were running the ball very efficiently. The Jaguars have not ran the ball efficiently all year. Raquel Armstead, you ever heard that name in your life, Chase?
Never.
I have literally never heard it until right now.
If you haven't, then I definitely haven't.
I have no idea who this guy is. Averaged 5.8 yards per carry. This is so tough to win a football game if you're already down and the other team has established the run game.
Right. Yeah.
You can shoot. If you aren't getting 5.8 yards per carry, they were seriously running to 23 for 32, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Marvin Jones had a sick touchdown. I miss him in Detroit, dude. And the Colts lose. They got completely outplayed by the Jaguars in a must-win game. That is heartbreaking. Any Colts fans here in the chat?
Maybe did he fumble it maybe? And maybe because they have a fumble and an interception, did Wentz fumble it?
My chat is actually saying that he absolutely did throw 2 interceptions. It's just incorrect.
Oh, really?
I think the guy doing the Google scores is a Colts fan. He's fucking salty.
He's pissed.
I'm not putting 2 interceptions on there.
Yeah, it just says 1.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor, 15 carries, 77 yards, 5.1. I will say that's really impressive. In you're basically Basically, when you're losing a game like this in the NFL, you're almost in a throw-only scenario. You're in a scenario where you are forced to get big chunk plays down the field because you're always trying to come back in the game. You're always trying to come back in the game.
Right.
And Jonathan Taylor still had a good game on the 15 carries that he did have. I mean, it's so much different when you're winning to average a lot of yards per carry because you already know you're going to be running the ball a lot.
Yeah.
But that's impressive. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. I am really bummed out. I wanted to see the Colts in the playoffs. So
True. I think Urban snuck into the hotel. Snuck into the hotel at night.
They got the power fucking Urban Meyer on their side. Of course they were gonna win.
Took the Colts team out for a little night on the town.
Yep. Took him to the bars.
And then sauced the whole Jaguars Gatorade with Blue Chew.
The whole thing's a facade. Urban is back there coaching behind the scenes.
Yeah.
To will the Jaguars to.
They just can't have him in the media in the front of the camera.
Exactly. Yeah. He's just not built like that. But he is built to 26-11 the Colts in a must-win game.
He's built different.
I can't wait to see the Pat McAfee show tomorrow, dude. They're gonna be tweaking balls.
Oh, because that's their team is Indy.
McAfee, bro. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
That
gonna be
sucks,
fucking.
dude.
I
That
do feel bad.
sucks.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, boys. 26-11. Colts collapse, and there's a lot more playoff stuff to talk about too.